Okay, welcome to MS100 Online. This is just a short video to give you a little introduction into the class and get you started with some quick tips and tricks to be successful in this online course. So, business application in Excel, that is a mouthful. I bet you're wondering how you got here and what you need to do in order to be successful. So, just to jump right in, let's look at our agenda. So first thing we're going to talk about is why you as a student at university have to take MS100. We're also going to talk about why we focus so heavily on Excel and what is Excel. And then we're going to give you some getting started tips and tricks just to get you going in the right direction as you're starting your career in the College of Business. So let's just jump right in. Why MS100? Well, MS 100 used to be a course at Butler University called CS 100. And what that course was a basic introduction into how computers worked. Well, here's some things that you probably already know. The world has changed. And now you guys have grown up with computers. So 84% of modern society have access to computers already. 73% have access to the internet. Just think, how old were you when you got your first cell phone? Just think about that for a second. So here's what we found at Butler. We find that most students don't need remedial education in how to use computers. You've grown up with computers, you've probably had them in your home since birth. So you show up knowing how a mouse works, knowing the difference between left and right click, understanding how to restart your computer, in how to load a DVD or watch a movie. So you don't need us to teach you that. But here's what we find you do need. You need a little bit of help in understanding the design of data and spreadsheets. So you probably ask yourself, well, why spreadsheets? Well, here's some things. First of all, no matter what your major is inside the Lacey School of Business, you will always have to have strong analytical skills when it comes to data management, data analytics, and big data. One of the biggest programs that we have that deals with data analytics is Microsoft Excel. So here are some things. So first of all, most students that come in have heard of Microsoft Excel a little bit in high school. They don't realize that it's one of Microsoft's biggest sellers. Actually, it's the third highest grossing product in all of Microsoft, behind Windows Server. Actually, it's the second if you count it as part of Office, behind just the actual Windows operating system. So it's a big money software, and it's been around since the 80s. So here are some things that we found, which is, well, are students that come in proficient in spreadsheet design? Have they explored data analytics? Are they familiar with the concept of big data? Do they know what big data even is? And why do we ask that? Well, here's a reason why we ask that, because this equates directly into money and a job for you. So here's what you'll find. Excel, like I said before, is the most commonly used program in business. Spreadsheet skills are one of the most requested skills by employers. Just, you don't believe me? Just look online, go to monster.com and just start reading through skills required for some of the jobs that you would think would be ideal. And if that's not enough, well, here's something else for you. Um, Big data, let's look at the top 10 jobs of 2017. So, top 10 jobs of 2017. Job number 5 out of the top 10, data analytic manager, 112,000. Job number 3, data engineer, 106,000 average. Job number 1, data scientist, $110,000. And no matter where you live in the United States, I bet you would live a comfortable life working with that kind of salary. So I think that says a lot that 3 of the top 5 jobs of the last year all involve some kind of data analytics or data management. So for you, your career down this path starts now. That's why we take MS 100. So what does that mean for you? Let's talk a little history. Spreadsheets have been around since 1969, and what you're looking at is something called VisiCalc. Now, the good news for you is that is not what modern spreadsheets look like, but I always like, as a computer geek myself, to give a little bit of an homage back to the game that started it all, going back to VisiCalc, and talk about how we got to Excel by showing you the original old-fashioned spreadsheet, black screen, green letters. You've seen it in every movie that involves hackers, just like The Matrix. And if you haven't seen The Matrix, please go out and see it. Just consider it extra credit. Do that for me. So, how did we get Microsoft Excel? How did that become the most popular program in all of business? Well, spreadsheets have been around for a long time. The first spreadsheet program that we saw was actually for mainframe, and it was called VisiCalc. The next big program that came after VisiCalc was something called Lotus 123 around the 70s, early 80s. And in 1985, Microsoft released a program called Multiplan. And Multiplan became Microsoft Excel. And for you Mac users out there, funny thing is, Microsoft Excel was originally invented for the Mac in the 80s, and then it got ported over to become a program for PC. So a little homage to you Mac users out there, even though unfortunately Apple computers are not commonly used in business. They're great machines, but they're not really used in business, which we will talk about later as the class goes on. So a little homage to VisiCalc. So getting started. Where do you go with this class? How do we get started? How do I get oriented? What do I do? How do I start? How do I get this A that I need in order to pass this class? Well, here are some things that you want to check out. So first of all, you want to check out Moodle, okay? Moodle.butler.edu, which I will walk you through in person on our first meeting, but you can check out in advance if you like, has all the course syllabus information, all of your study guides, and how you would gain access to the second part of class, which is My IT Lab. Now, the reason I bring up My IT Lab is that is the software you will use to complete your homework and to take your tests online. Now, when you purchased your book from the bookstore, you should have received an access code to My IT Lab. For you, My IT Lab will be integrated into Moodle, which we will walk you through in a separate video, but you will need that access code in order to gain access. So what does that mean? It means if you borrowed a book from a friend, or if you don't really want to use the book for the class, you would have to go out and get that code from the bookstore separately. And I understand it's expensive to be a college student. You want to save as much money as you can, but you do need that code even if you don't have the book. The last thing, you do need to have a copy of Microsoft Excel. In this class, we use Excel 2016. So if you're using an older version of Excel, if you don't have Excel, if you need it, Butler offers you great opportunities to get a free copy or a discounted copy, and you can get more information on that at butler.edu/IT. So those are three great areas that you can start with before we ever meet on our first day. So last thing I want to give you, have any questions before we get started with class? Have any concerns, anything that I can do to help you? Please give me a call. Give me an email. I love to hear from you. I love working with students. I really prefer teaching classes face to face, but I'm happy to also work with you in this digital online environment as well. So please come by. Please give me a call. I'm happy to help you along this journey that we'll take for the next 6 weeks. So it's been my pleasure for now. If you have any questions, please reach out. Signing off for now, and we will talk soon. Have a good day.